to former Walmart U.S. CEO on all of these developments, Bill Simon. Bill, thank you for your patience there listening to these leaders. How important, by the way, is it to see a deal come out of this summit?
Oh, I think it's critical, Neil. And great to be with you, by the way.
Same here.
Yeah, it's really important. I think the economy in general is very, very strong. There are a few things that could derail it, and this would be one of them. I really do think they need to sit down and get a deal done here and figure out the trade and the tariff and all the rest of the things that could be a really big overhang in 2019.
You know, and your company has said, you know, that, look, this is a very real issue for our customers and all of this. Obviously, sales have been strong and what have you, but the longer this lingers, people always forget, I know you and I have gotten into this before, that governments don't pay those tariffs, consumers do. And that could, if it goes on a long time, hurt, right?
Well, it will hurt in the near term and in the medium term. Hopefully, the plan would be in the long term that there's a way to respond to it. But in the near term, you know, the costs are going to have to be passed through.
What is your sense of where things stand now? When the Federal Reserve announced a couple of days ago, and I'm paraphrasing here, you know, we might have hit our kind of sweet spot on interest rates. Maybe this is about where we're going to be a while. What did you think of that and the impact of that?
Well, I think it's also very important. You know, the economy is, as I said, is moving and it's moving forward. There doesn't appear to be a huge amount of inflation on the horizon. You know, wage rate growth is a good thing for the economy and not a bad thing. And so the Federal Reserve taking a more neutral posture, I think, will also be a positive impact in 2019. If they would continue down the rate raising path, I think that would be another one of those things that could derail us.
You know, while I've got you, Bill, I know this isn't your immediate concern anymore, but Bernie Sanders has fingered Walmart for not being more generous with its workers, wants an across-the-board $15 minimum wage per hour. How do you feel about the back and forth? Because it looks a big bullseye on Walmart.
You know, that's a political rhetoric, and it's actually an old political rhetoric. And so, you know, it might have worked for him a few years ago. It's just not relevant today. Wage rate is being driven by the market, not by a politician. Companies are paying higher wages because unemployment's at 3.8%. And if you want to fill your stores or your shops or your factory floor, you're going to have to pay more. And that's the right way to see starting wage go up, not with legislation. So he can say what he wants to, but you know, companies are going to pay what they have to staff their businesses. And any CEO who bends to pressure from a politician probably won't be in their job too long.
Well, Jeff Bezos kind of did, right, at Amazon.
I think he wanted it to appear that way, but he's smarter than that. He realized that he was going to have to pay that anyway, and he probably just took credit for it.
Okay. Real quickly, the back and forth on market valuations and everything else is, you know, Apple went from the first $1 trillion company to a lot less than that. Microsoft passed them. You're on the verge of passing them. What do you make of that?
I think it's just a lot of scorekeeping for a game that really doesn't count. You know, really what you want to look at is how's the company doing? Are they growing their top line? Are they growing and delivering on the bottom line? Are they rewarding shareholders? And those are all pretty good companies. You know, the outlier in that is Amazon, who's probably you know, not delivering as robust a bottom line as the others, but they've got stronger top line. So, you know, we'll see how it all plays out. That's one of my questions, Neil, is what does this look like when it's over, when it stabilizes, when it ends? Can't deliver 20% growth on the top line forever with you know, fairly modest bottom line. What does it look like for Amazon when it's over, and what sort of an investment will that be? Same with Walmart. Walmart invests substantial amounts of money to become a player in the digital space as well as the physical space. What does that look like when it's over?
What does this economy look like right now? And it's not over. A lot of people hope that it doesn't end. What do you think?
I'm optimistic. As I said, I think the consumer is strong, and we are a consumer-driven economy. And as long as the consumer remains strong and confident, and I think they will through the year and into the start of next year, I think we'll have another good year. Like I said, there's a lot of things that could derail us. We're heading into a presidential election cycle, so there'll be a lot of noise and a lot of rhetoric. You know, we've got the overhang from tariffs, from the trade negotiation, from the Mueller investigation, from the Fed doing what the Fed might or might not do. And all those things could change where we are now. But I like the trajectory we're on, and I'm optimistic that if, you know, barring some shock to the system, we'll stay on that trajectory at least through the middle towards the end of next year.
You mentioned the Mueller investigation. If this erupted into something like a Watergate or that bad, we're a long, long way from that. All bets are off, right?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think you're going to have to find some real hardcore evidence, and it doesn't look like there is any. I don't know.
Yeah.
My guess is everything else is leaked. If there was anything, it would probably be out by now. There'll probably be some sort of innuendo or a behavior that we're not proud of, but I don't know if that's enough to be the shock to the system that I was talking about.
Bill, great catching up with you. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. Bill Simon, the former Walmart CEO and president, Big Cheese, joining us out of Florida. Thank you.